Just a quick brain dump today on wall drills. Now, the wheels are spinning on wall drills because of what I see put out in the landscape of training videos and what coaches are doing with wall drills. And what I see sometimes is like, man, is the way you're doing that wall drill really worth anything? And for me, I don't use them a ton. I'm dealing with more advanced athletes with smaller windows of trainability, but I could see the value of wall drills being used for some youth athletes as a means of introducing some concepts and as they develop understanding these acceleration mechanics. So often what I see is a line of people up against a wall and coaches coaching this wall drill, and if you have 20, 30 people up against a wall, you don't have a good shot at making it worthwhile, because what do you normally see? A lot of bad positioning where athlete arms are just kind of here looking down, and we're kind of this situation here and butt shooting out, and it's kind of a hard drill to maintain this good position unless you're coaching the drill well. So the corrections, some of the quick corrections that I would make to kind of improve this drill quickly and make it an actual a trainable drill is, man, the posture and what you get in initially, it's got to be solidified and stay the entire time during the drill. And what I mean by that is set your hands up against the wall in a way that gives you a shot at keeping this position, some sort of reach, some sort of solid arm position that you're not going to change throughout the drill. Because so commonly I see the drill starting, maybe you're in a good position and you start rolling, and then all of a sudden you, on rep 2, 3, you end up in something like this, and that's an exaggeration, but you see that position change. So for me, that's not a trainable exercise. Now, if we can solidify position here and take ownership and introduce what a lean position is in acceleration mechanics, then I think we're getting somewhere if you can solidify that position throughout the drill. That's where holding this position might be step one. Okay, just holding here, breathing, understanding what control of that position is. Then maybe we progress to that one leg lifting off into that knee drive. Now, another thing I see is that even though we're in a lean up against the wall and we're saying that we're using a wall drill, at least for me, to talk about acceleration mechanics, not necessarily max velocity or upright running cyclic mechanics, is we see, even though that you're in a lean and maybe you're setting up and cueing the right things in that lean position, then you see guys that end up being here. Now, if I'm seeing this, I'm popping up after I get into my start. If I push off and I do that wall drill, I'm popping up and I'm losing my leverage for my acceleration. So, critical thing to think about, and I'll credit Lee Taft for this particular thought or drill or idea, and I love this, which kind of brought me back to wall drills a little bit, is I saw him at a seminar over the summer talk about or put a ball in front of the athlete as a cue, an external cue to kick the ball up against the wall, and that's how that leg action should go. So imagine I have that soccer ball here, and I'm going to kick that ball here. Now what I'm saying is, as I accelerate, think track and field and how low that toe is above the ground as they accelerate. So in other words, I'm not lifting up, I'm almost driving forward. I still am thinking about that good positive shin angle. Hopefully we're seeing something here that is front shin parallel to back leg, but I'm not lifting here, or you see here a lot of times with people. So cue that low tracking of foot on the ground, because I want to, in this, if I'm pushing off back leg to then bring that left leg in this case through, I'm bringing it through not like this, I'm bringing it through, if I'm in acceleration, low to the ground with a positive shin angle So then I can have immediate contact and push into that next step. If you lift up, then you're just popping up. So again, can I nail in a wall drill this position, whatever neutral or that straight line position that you can get? And then once you do that drill, what is happening with this drive here, okay? Is it a going forward knee drive acceleration mechanic, or is it a pop me up into max V mechanics? Now, here's where it gets more ugly, I think, is when we start doing these switches. And the switches, to me, I don't know if there's too much value. I get that we can teach how quickly we push and how forcefully we push back into the ground. For me, the switches just turn ugly too quick. So if I'm here and I'm doing this, like, I don't know how much that transfers. I like hammering home the concept of this position and sort of this tracking and knee drive, but I'd want to push here if I'm accelerating. In a wall drill, I'm not like pushing back here, okay? So again, my opinion, and why I don't use too much of it, and if I were to use it, again, it would be to hammer home some concepts on positioning here and understand what sort of knee drive we would want them to exhibit once we get into the acceleration itself. Now again, if I solidify here and I'm talking about just a push here, okay, maybe like just that one switch, just kind of hammer home, hey, you got this knee drive, and then how forcefully do you push back into the ground? Cool, I'm with that, but that's probably the extent I would go with a wall drill.